I would say that in general, it's pretty fair to say that Kingdom Hearts as a series has very well designed boss fights, whether that be the bosses that you fight in the main stories of the games, or the bosses that you fight in the end game, also known as super bosses. Whether that be the showdowns with Sephiroth in Kingdom Hearts 1 or Kingdom Hearts 2, or bosses like Lingering Will or the data fights in either Kingdom Hearts 2 or Kingdom Hearts 3, they are all very fun to fight against and offer the player what I would say is a fair challenge. But that does come with the exception of one super boss in Birth by Sleep. This is the one boss that I consider to be truly just terrible in the Kingdom Hearts franchise. I'm sure you have a pretty good idea of which boss I'm actually talking about. So hopefully the surprise of nobody, my least favourite super boss in the whole franchise is Mysterious Figure. Now, there are several negative elements of this boss fight that I think are just cheap design that I would like to discuss later in this video, but if I have to give the boss one thing, it's got a very good music track, and it's probably one of my favourites in the whole of Birth by Sleep. I really love the part about 30 seconds in, which I'll let you listen to now. Unfortunately, past the music of the boss, I don't think there are actually any redeeming qualities to it, and I would consider it to just be what not to do when designing a super boss for a Kingdom Hearts game. Most super bosses in the Kingdom Hearts series will actually require you using all the tools and skills you've learnt across the whole game, essentially proving them in what I would consider to be a mastery test, whereas Mysterious Figure teaches you to just throw everything you've learnt out the window and cheese him. So despite this kind of being an easy boss fight to defeat by using the cheese strategy, which I would highly recommend, that doesn't change the fact that it's still terribly designed, and considering that the cheese strategy is the one that most people use to even win, I think that just proves it. Firstly, this boss completely destroys the command deck system that Birth by Sleep introduced by teaching you that only certain physical or magic attacks will actually work against this boss. Most physical attacks are completely useless, or simply too slow to actually be used against Mysterious Figure. You'll also find that he's immune to most magic attacks, or simply, when hit by them, has very low damage dealt to him. For example, as you've seen in this clip where I've tried to hit him with fire, it's barely took out any of his health. And like many other super bosses, he just completely ignores thunder when it's cast, so just don't bring that into the battle in the first place. He's also designed to completely ignore certain attacks, whether that be physical or magic. For example, Mind Shield and Mind Square, he will just jump over the mines, also making them useless for this battle. Beyond the command deck, other aspects of Birth by Sleep are completely broken in this boss fight. For example, while they can be useful, D-Links are not recommended for this fight, simply because they will advance the Mysterious Figure to move on to phase 2 of the fight. Beginning in the second phase, he's able to go invisible for quite a long time, so I would highly recommend not using D-Links simply because of that. Shotlocks suffer a similar fate. If you're even able to pull them off in this fight, then Mysterious Figure will most likely counter it with clones, orbs, or even just heal all of the damage. Also, his attack speed is just way too fast, but then again, some other bosses in this game do suffer the same problem, so that's not just a problem with the Mysterious Figure himself, but more so just a problem with Birth by Sleep super boss design. If I had to say one thing in particular about the attack speed though, is that it makes this boss as Terra an absolute pain. Even beyond that, there's certain combinations of commands you just cannot use in this fight if you want to win. For example, if you have more than 4 cure commands, or you have any kind of elemental dodge in either command slots 1 through 4 for your action commands, then you can expect your fight to go like this, where he will spam Doom over and over until your cooldown is too short to even escape from it and you will die. You'll know he's about to cast Doom on you when he sends out a wiry looking attack. Then a countdown will appear above your head and you'll be on 1 HP and you'll have to repeatedly mash X until you escape from the attack. This also appears in Final Fantasy games, and also it will slowly decrease the time you have to escape every time you're hit by it. So if you get hit by it about 3 or 4 times, there's a likelihood you will not have the capabilities to escape it, even if you're the best masher that you can be. Also, if you went into this battle with second chance or once more, then expect them to not fully work, because certain attacks will actually not give you the protection these abilities are meant to. I have never personally seen it with once more, but here's a clip showing it with second chance. You see, just immediately, I shouldn't have died, but it kills me. I haven't even mentioned his whole toolkit, I've only mentioned the worst, but the ones I haven't mentioned are equally as bad for some of them. Obviously you have his basic combo moves, which aren't too hard to avoid, but then you have attacks like this where it's kind of easy to avoid, but he takes away all your commands if you're hit by it. And considering he can then combo it into an attack like clones, where he summons 5 different clones that if they hit you will most likely get you killed for that run, yeah, it's kind of crazy how he can do that. And he can do it several times really quickly as well, like you've just seen in the clip. And also heal damage, so yeah, that's just great. And just for the cherry on top of this dreadful boss fight, if you're going for 100% completion, you have to do this boss 3 times. So logically the question comes of, how do you even beat this boss if it's so hard to try and fight in the first place? Well, there's several things you have to do. Firstly, if you just wanted to do it as one of the characters, then please do not bother trying to do it as Terra and just do it as Aqua or Ventus. While yes, it may be satisfactory to even complete this boss as Terra in the first place, even if you cheese it, it's not worth going through the hassle and the time that you will waste trying to do so. Aqua and Ven have it way easier, simply because they have fully invincible dodge rolls as long as you're not using Fire Wheel or Thunder Roll. Terra doesn't either way, so he's much more vulnerable to attacks from Mysterious Figure himself. So in general, you just have to be spamming it either way, but there's a likelihood you'll get hit as Terra if you're going to do it as him. Aqua and Ven, very unlikely unless you get very unlucky with your timing. As mentioned earlier, don't have either 5 cure commands in your battle commands or elemental dodge in slots 1 through 4 of your action commands, because he will doom spam in phase 1. And if there's any move you want to be using in this boss fight, it's either going to be Fire Surge or Thunder Surge. Thunder Surge is accepted to be the better of the 2 attacks, but it really doesn't matter if you use Fire Surge anyway. They're both very powerful attacks, even on the weakest character for physical damage, Aqua, and they're also fully invincible, so they are actually a good substitute for dodging as Terra, but it does come at the cost of then not being able to use them for your attacks on Mysterious Figure himself. And as well, they are kind of laggy, but that's fine, you have cures in the fight anyway, and they do enough damage, so it's kind of a fair trade-off. For good measure too, just get Royal Radiance from the Mirage Arena. You just get it by defeating No Heart, which is the 30th Arena stage. For reference, this is the loadout I go with. I use Cura simply because it has a shorter cooldown than Curaga. So yeah, that is kind of it. You just Thunder Surge when he's open to be attacked, you heal when you need to, and you will spam dodge to save your life. I will have videos linked in the description for how I beat this boss as each character. But yeah, thanks for listening to my rant. Maybe I'll do a video on why Lingering Will is a good boss or something one day, so that's about it. See ya.